Hello everybody, and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara T Designs, and today I have these really pretty moth thank you cards to share with you. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to start by cutting down my cardstock. You guys know I love a border. So my card base is A2 size, which is 4¼ by 5½ when scored. And the panel that I'm going to be working on, I always cut down to be about 1/4 inch smaller than the base. And then my black mat is generally 1/8 inch smaller than that, giving me nice thin borders all the way around. You can of course alter this to be however you would like your layers to be. I just really like that thin border, especially on this design, because I do think that border really helps the moth pop. And so it's kind of a fun design that way. And you could change out the moth for the perspective butterfly if you have that instead. Just be aware that the butterfly is even bigger. So if you have a hard time fitting the moth on the page, the butterfly is even more difficult. If you wanted the whole moth on the page, I would aim for a 5x7 card because I find they are generally the right size for the full perspective moth, but I like to cut off pieces. I think it looks really interesting in the design, so that's kind of what I went for. So for my ink blends, I'm going to do 3 different blends here. So for my first one, it's Mustard Seed, Worn Lipstick, and Seedless Preserves. My second one is Salvaged Patina, Victorian Velvet, and Seedless Preserves. And then my third one is Twisted Citron, Broken China, and Uncharted Mariner. And this is just because I thought that the colors would be really fun together. I wasn't really sure about the Victorian Velvet blend. I'll be honest, you guys will see that in the next one. I went back and forth on whether or not I thought that was a good idea, but in the end, I think that it turned out really pretty, and it's just a different tone, and it kind of adds something really fun and pretty to look at in the color blends. So for me, it is currently June 7th as I do this edit and voiceover, but for you, it is June 15th. So my tulip collection goes live today, and I cannot express how excited I am. I mean, like I said, for me, it's a couple days before that, but my excitement over this whole collection is just insane. So if you're going to check it out, it does go live here in a couple of hours. I think it's 5 hours. Sorry, I had to count the math there for a second, just to make sure I was correct. But it is going live in 5 hours from this video going up. If you are watching this on June 15th at 7 a.m. is the time it goes live for me. If you're watching it right when this video goes up, my tulip collection is live in 5 hours. And I am so excited, you guys. I have been working on this for a while. I have to admit that I am also a little bit nervous just because it's one of those things where you don't know. I've never done a stationery collection before, so I have no idea if there's any interest. I have no idea if anybody's going to buy anything. I have no idea how this is going to go over. Regardless, I am incredibly excited about the experience of, taking something that I've hand drawn and turning it into products and different ways that you can use it. And I'm really excited about that. So there is that, regardless of what happens today, but know that I will be, up at noon, because you guys know I'm a night owl. I will be, watching everything go up, make sure everything goes up properly. And then if anybody places an order, I'll be there watching it. So, thank you in advance if you are interested in the collection and you purchase something. Thank you to anybody who interacted with the videos, showcasing it, anything like that. So I greatly appreciate you guys, but I want to put that out right now. If you are interested and you weren't totally sure of the time frame, because I know time zones are different in every country. And I've been saying PST, but we don't have PST anymore because they got rid of the time change. So I think we're actually PDT now. But regardless, there's a timer on the website counting down, so you can see that. And there was a timer in the email that went out as well. So that is, kind of what I've got to say with you guys. But if you do purchase, thank you so much. I cannot express what that will mean to me when I see an order come through, because I've been working on this for a while, and you guys know, if you've been with me for any length of time, it is my dream to have a stationery shop. That's kind of my, my thing. So this is like the first step on that path, and I am just incredibly excited. So I will go back into talking about the cards now, but I just wanted to put that out there for you guys if you were at all interested. So you can kind of see that I went through my blends. I like to generally blend the colors 3 times, or at least twice, kind of going over them, just to make sure that the colors merge nicely between the 2 colors. Keep in mind too, with Oxide inks, because that's what I've used here, they do dry back a bit, so they're not going to be quite as vibrant as what you see when you first lay down the color. So if you're like, oh, this isn't really, what I thought it would be, let it dry completely and then look at it again and decide if that's what you kind of wanted. So I am going to splatter on a little bit of Perfect Pearls here. I do have a video coming of me filling up the new one as a short. I have not had a chance to record it yet just because I've been so busy with the tulip stuff, but I do have one coming. I promise it will happen. I will also talk about it in the next email in case you miss it coming up. But yeah, so I did mist my Oxide backgrounds with a little bit of water as well, just to add some extra texture in the background. You could leave the blends completely by themselves if you want to, but I do find adding some extra texture, like the splatters, helps hide any mistakes. Like if you felt like your blends didn't go together nicely, that does help hide those I'm calling them mistakes, but they're really not. Like if you're not happy with the color blend, that's a really good way to hide it, is some splatters, because it adds interest and texture. And then I'm going to run the Perspective Moth through my switch. I have the Sizzix Switch sitting off to the left hand side of me, and I also have my chrome base plate there. That is a detail plate. It helps with very detailed cuts. So I like to use it when I have something like this moth that has a lot of little pieces that sometimes can get stuck if it doesn't cut nicely. That is the easiest way I have found. The chrome base plate is a little bit pricey, but honestly, I've had mine for years and I've never had any issues with it. It keeps going. Like I've had to replace die cutting machines before I've ever had to replace the plate. So I think it's a great investment if you use a lot of die cuts that have very delicate pieces, or that are kind of like this one that just, it's also large and has a lot of die cut pieces. So I think it's a great investment, but completely up to you as to what you think you would use. And I have found with this and the Perspective Butterfly, anything like that plate is the best. So I'm going to pop them out. You can see here that it did add just a slight curl to the wings. Here you can see Aqua is going to try to steal the moths. She tried to run away with them there. It was really cute. And then she lays off to the side. But it does have a slight curve to the wings. That's just because of the pressure of the sandwich. I find that mine curls things just a touch. And for the wings, what a great addition to the card design. So I actually left that in because I'm going to leave the wing up. You guys have saw from the opening picture that I do cut half of the moth off, but that wing is completely free floating. I don't adhere it down. I just let it float, and it just looks so pretty with that popped up wing. At least I think so. You could, of course, adhere it all flat. That wouldn't be a problem. And of course, if yours doesn't cut with a curve in it by itself, you can always add that as well. You just like run it along a pencil, and that can gently, because you don't want to damage the wing, but that can help you add curl like you do with ribbons. You can kind of curl them with like scissors and stuff. You don't need scissors because you cut it, but you can add a bit of a curl in, and that would just add some really cool interest to that card. So I'm going to stamp out my sentiment. This is a Simon Says stamp. Thank you. I don't think this stamp set is available anymore. If it is, I will link and list it down below with everything I used, as I always do. But I think that the stamp set is gone because it is an older stamp set. I just really like the flourished sentiments that are in it. So I tend to reach for them because you guys know I have a thing for flourishy or multi-font sentiments. They just make me really happy. So I do tend to reach for them. But any sentiment would work here. You could change it for happy birthday. You could change it for thinking of you. Really anything would fit. I just like how the flourish kind of fits in with the very delicate and beautiful moth in this instance. So that's kind of why I reached to that. And I can never have enough thank you cards on hand. They're one of the ones I use the most. Thank you and birthday for sure. So I just kind of adhered the center of the moth here on the card, and I've got one wing hanging off. I am going to cut off the wing. So you could leave it if you really wanted to, but then I would suggest you make a 5x7 card because otherwise you're going to have to make a really oddly shaped envelope to make this work, or hand deliver the card. You could do that too. But I just cut it off. Now you could adhere it in the inside. I chose not to in this instance. I actually just set them aside because maybe I'll use them in a different project, or, sometimes I send stuff out in Happy Mail that are like random bits and bobs that are cut off of projects that I've been working on from the challenge winners, because I run a challenge over on my Facebook page, and when I pick the winner, I like to make them Happy Mail, right? And then I usually, the last two winners got some alcohol ink strips that I had made in my alcohol ink video from the beginning of this month. So stuff like that is kind of fun to just add it in, and then they can use it in their creative endeavors as well. Or I'll use it on a journal page, something. It'll get used in some facet, but you could put it in the middle of the card if you wanted to, in the panel, or sorry, in the base, but I chose not to in this instance. So that's pretty much the card design. I'm just going to adhere everything together. So here's where you get to see those thin mats kind of going around the card design. And I love that extra pop of black with the moth. I think that it looks really nice. And then that white border around the next layer just helps it pop and just adds a little bit more interest. Now I would splatter the white paint now if you were going to do it. I kind of went back and forth at this step, and I decided not to. And then when I was completely finished on the cards, like added the pearls, done everything, I was like, I really want some white splatter. So I ended up adding it, and it looks great. I just would probably have done it before I added the pearls, but there's no wrong time to do something. You can always change your mind. So I am going to add a little bit of splatter after I've added the pearls and been completely finished with the card design. And I think that the splatter just brings in a little bit more interest. Again, this is a step you can skip if that's not your style. I know some people don't enjoy splatter, but I really like the dimension and texture that it adds. I think that it's just such a fun addition. And yes, I'm using cream pearls here, because you guys know, if you've been following my saga, I don't have enough white pearls on hand at the moment. So I will probably pout about that consistently, so do not be surprised. But I am just adhering down some cream pearls around the moth, and I think that it looks really pretty, adds a little bit of something extra. You can skip this step, of course, as well if embellishments are not your thing, but I love embellishments. They just make me so happy, and especially the pearls. So I did add them kind of around the moth and above the sentiment. And then here is where I decided I just really wanted some white splatters. So I did go in and I just added a little bit of Picket fence paint on a acrylic block, and then I splattered them all over the card fronts. A little bit's on the sentiment, a little bit's on the moth. It doesn't matter. It just kind of brings it all together and adds a little bit of something extra. So I had a lot of fun with these cards. So these are the cards I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed them. I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday, and you guys know Christmas in July is coming quickly, so we will have some Christmas cards on the channel here pretty soon. I also want to quickly say a big thank you to my members. You guys are phenomenal. I could not do this without your support, and I greatly appreciate you wanting to support the channel. It means so much to me, so thank you very much. And don't forget that my tulip collection is coming out on the shop, so if you want to go check it out, it's ciaratdesigns.com, and I will have it up under the new tab as soon as noon hits for me. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you again very soon. Bye-bye for now.